Yeah, I really gotta get better with my timing, y'all. Sorry, a few minutes late, but we getting it rolling right now. Let's go. 49ers morning show.
Intercepted. It is picked up by Aaron Crocker over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody is having a blessed morning. I know I'm very, thankful. Wake up, get with all my folks, you know what I'm saying? Chill with the wife for a minute. Oh, we got like 10 flames. Let's go, Ruben. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Better late than never. You're right. Speaking of never, tomorrow we won't be here. I'll be in California at that time. So I'll be in California for the weekend. My guy Jesse Booker, he's in here. What's good? Man, I was just, and we're gonna get into 49er news, of course. Hey mama, see my mama in here. Hey mom. I was just I was watching this YouTube video and it was Hitmaker, right? And Hitmaker, he is if you guys don't know, he's formerly known as Young Berg. So some of y'all, might not know anything about what I'm talking about right now. But Young Berg was a rapper. I know when I was coming up, he had some hits or whatever. And he had like this like weird space and he had to kind of like reinvent himself. And now he's Hitmaker, which most people don't even know. And like he's doing extremely well. And it kind of reminded me of myself, right? I mean, you have Eric Crocker, as people knew me like growing up, whether it was Eric Crocker the screw up or Eric Crocker the football player. And then now it's like, I've had to like reinvent myself. You have to go through ups and downs and stuff, and I've had to reinvent myself as Eric Crocker the DB specialist, or Eric Crocker the YouTuber or streamer, whatever it is that you want to call it. But it's really cool that you know we can go through a lot of different life changes. And I think a lot of people, they want to hold on to one thing and think that they just got to be this or they got to be that, or this is what they're always going to be known as. And it's like, no, it's not true, because I'm more popular today for streaming and YouTubing and giving my thoughts on 49ers and stuff. I did media for the 49ers, like, for a blog, but I actually was a credentialed member of the media, which I would have never. I think if you ask any of my friends, my homies, my family members, like, hey, Eric's going to be a media member of the 49ers, people like, man, get out of here, man. Get out of here. So that was something cool, but I was just watching Hitmaker, and it's like, man, I'm proud of him, because he went through like these different things and some corny moments and all type of other things, but he was able to like reinvent himself. And now he's young, he's successful, he's doing his thing, he looks happy. You could tell like the vibe is right for him. And yeah, I just wanted to come in here today with some more positive vibes. So I'm like, man, what are we going to talk about to the 49er people? And I think so far, everything over the last however many days has been like just so negative, man. I got to get my stuff right a little bit. Everything has been like so negative. And I'm like, man, everybody's talking about the same things. And we've talked about these different things as well. Just like the negativity. And of course, I'm gonna get everybody in the invite and you guys can come on and talk live. But I'm just like, man, let's get some positivity going. Right. I feel like it's easy to be negative. It's easy to point out, what's wrong. It's easy to look at your life and feel like, man, like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this. But it's like, but what are you doing? There has to be some positives there. And what are you trying to get to? And let's look at things in more of a positive light, you know? So that's what we're doing today. We're going to talk about the 49ers, I'll open the floor. I told my testimony yesterday. And if anybody, let's do it like that. Let's start this off like that. If you have a positive message for everybody that's watching right now, whatever that is, go ahead, click the link and get that off. And that's what this is. Because I noticed one thing in here. I have a lot of people that I have a lot of kind of repeat viewers and things like that. And I think this is kind of turning into more of like a family type, you know what I'm saying? So click the link. If you have anything that you want to share with everybody that's in here, we family now. You know what I'm saying? If you have anything in that you want to share with people on a positive note and you want to just get that message off, now's the time. We'll spend the first few minutes of today doing that. If you haven't already, make sure you guys listen to Locked On 49ers. Hopefully that was the first thing you listened to when you woke up this morning with myself and my co-host, Brian Peacock. I also dropped the episode of Locked On NFL Draft. So if you guys want to keep up with what's going on with college prospects and the landscape around rookies in the NFL, make sure you guys tune into that. As always, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Crocky. Make sure you guys download the app, Underdog Fantasy, right now. Promo code Crocky. I think I might have some things that we do tonight, some challenges, some wagers and over-unders that we can do using Underdog Fantasy. So if you haven't already gotten into Underdog Fantasy, download the app right now so you can join in on the fun. And we'll start incorporating Underdog Fantasy into the YouTube channel. All right, here we go. Got my guy. Keep that smile on your face, my man. My mom's in here right now. She'll tell you I've always just kind of been like this, like a person that like smiles and stuff. And I've always tried to make I'm more of an optimist, right? I'm more of a positive person. I've tried to make the best out of all situations. And it's not fake. Like it's not fake. One thing about me, y'all, I'm not fake. I can't be fake because there's people that know me in real life. So there's too many people that know me in real life. So I can't be fake on social media, or I can't act like I'm this and that. Like whatever it is that you guys see or whatever I'm doing, like, you know, and I talk to you guys about the different things I'm doing, whether it's my streaming and some of my goals with that, whether it's building my own sports performance facility that I'm extremely proud of. People know me in real life. So, you know, you won't come off as any, you won't see anything fake with me, but the smile definitely not fake as well. That's just kind of who I am. I appreciate the contribution, Jesse. Good morning, Croc. You know, how we doing this beautiful morning? I'm great. Life is great. Cannot complain. That's what's up. How the chat doing this morning? Positive vibes, baby. Positive vibes. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. I appreciate the contribution. Yeah. I see somebody right here. Croc, be careful you add to the stream. There's been people joining lives and showing extreme graphic images, getting people's YouTube accounts banned. I hope, you know, listen, if my YouTube account gets banned because somebody comes on and does it, it is what it is, man. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully if it does happen, you guys join back, man. But I want to, you know, this space is, I can't, that's like my wife, right? You know, sometimes she might worry a lot about the kids, like, oh, you know, I don't want the kid walking to the store, they can get hit by a car, or you know, oh, the kid, like they could get kidnapped. And I feel like if you like always think like that, like you, if something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, right? But I can't live my life like in fear, right? I can't live my life in fear that this is gonna happen to me or this is gonna happen to me. You just gotta live your life, man. And if something happens, you gotta pivot and figure it out. So if you know, this space is not only for me, it's for y'all as well. So if somebody comes on here and they do some weird stuff, listen, you know, we'll pivot. We'll do whatever we gotta do to overcome that. So that's just, I feel you though. I appreciate the heads up. And I've talked to some people. I know Jesse, he was telling me about what happened to his YouTube account. Here we go. Got another contribution here. This is just for support. I mean, just for positive vibes. Keep it up. Love the morning show, Croc. I appreciate it, y'all. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate the contribution. Let's go. Let's go. All right. He said, if it happens, stop the stream immediately and delete it. 100%. I will do that. Like boom, 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 as quick as possible. All right. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about some positive vibes. Let's just get into some things that are more positive surrounding the San Francisco 49ers, your San Francisco 49ers. All right. And one, let's look at just what they've done, right? Like what let's talk about this Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch in more of a positive light. All right. And you look at what they took over, and it was a dumpster fire. All right. It was a dumpster fire. Miss Debbie, thank you. Eric, please be sure to have an external hard drive to save your podcast to protect your work. That's actually smart because this is not a Apple laptop. This is a Dell. And I don't know if Dell is as good as Apple, but yeah, I need to start making sure that I save these things and have all my work. I appreciate that, Miss Debbie, and I appreciate the contribution. let's talk about these guys in a positive light and what they took over, right? Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and it was a dumpster fire. We know. And obviously, there are things that we would have done different, possibly, right? I know, picking at the top of the draft, some people wanted a quarterback, some people didn't. But you look at what they took over, and one thing that was for sure, and we see some of this going on right now with the team. There were there were things that you could see that where they were headed in the right direction. All right. So that first year, at one point early on, they had lost 5 straight games by 3 or less points. And it was like, damn, they're on to something. It's just maybe they're missing a piece here and there. And the next year, they got that piece, right? Or later that year with Jimmy Garoppolo, and it won 5 straight games. And remember that feeling you had when Jimmy Garoppolo first took the field against Seattle and threw that touchdown? And it was just like, man, this is the beginning of something special, like a new era. And won 5 straight games. And it was like the vibes were up. Boom, week 3, he goes down, torn ACL. And it was tough. From there, 49ers trying to, find their footing and try to figure it out. And in the process, you get Nick Bosa, you get Debo Samuel. For everybody that says, well, 49ers, they don't hit on early round draft picks. I think in that draft, they got Bosa, they got Bosa, they got Debo. There was Hurd, whatever. Dre Greenlaw, positive draft. And things started clicking. The 49ers used that to go all the way to a championship. But let's talk about the start to that championship season, or potential championship, but going to the Super Bowl run. It did not start off great. A matter of fact, there were a lot of moments that were like what we're seeing now. And I think that's kind of gotten lost in this whole thing. That was not, it wasn't a great start to the season offensively. Now you had some explosive plays by the running back, but the offense, the passing game was a little clunky, a little weird. You guys remember Tampa Bay week 1, it was a dogfight. Jimmy threw the pick 6 and 49ers were down and we're like, gosh, what's going on? Supposed to be doing good or whatever. 49ers pulled that game off because 2 pick 6s. You had the Steelers game that was really weird. They had 5. You guys remember that Steelers game? 49ers had 5 turnovers in like the first half. They battled back and they ended up winning the game, but it wasn't pretty, right? And there were a lot of ugly wins. Now, one thing that was for sure, the defense was historically great. And I think that helped smooth over the transition of finding themselves offensively. And it really wasn't until about week 7 when they got Emmanuel Sanders, around week 8, where things started to really click offensively. Hell, Seahawks game. How did the 49ers lose that Seahawks game? I mean, obviously the kicker, Gold, was out. But even more so than that, Jimmy Garoppolo, it was weird, right? The offense was weird. And I say all that to say because right now we're in panic mode because of maybe some of the expectations. And I think the difference between then and now is I think just the defense was just so dominant and they were taking the ball away at a higher rate that the 49ers were able to win some of those games. And then the running game really started clicking. But the season really started more so like what we're seeing right now. They were figuring out a way to win. So we see right now what's going on with the team in these very weird moments. And the sky is falling, right? The sky is falling. And the 49ers just can't get right. And we're blaming Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan's probably looking at it like, man, we've been through this before. If you look at 2019. Now I know this is not the 2019 season. I see Latanya. We look nothing like 2019 team. Let too many good guys walk. Yes, you're correct. But no, because it is similar in the sense of the way it started. The 49ers defense right now is playing very well. They're playing great. No, and that might be just the difference, right? But what I'm trying to get to is I think offensively, which we expect the offense to perform at a certain level, right? A certain level of efficiency. And it's not there yet. But like 2009, I know a lot of people, man, leave 2009, this is not the same team, 2019. And I agree. But the offense didn't click until midway through the season. And I think right now, if we're looking at the 49ers, and one of the biggest reasons why they aren't, undefeated, 5-0, 4-0. Right? It's been the offense. They haven't had the defense to 100% be able to cover up for it, like 19, and where the defense was just taking the ball away, putting this team in scoring position. Think about the Packers game early on. 49ers, they get a fumble near the end zone by Aaron Rodgers, and they end up scoring, and how they were taking the ball away. I mean, just consistently taking the ball away. Right now, 49ers haven't had the takeaways. I think that's been the biggest issue. There have been a lot of people questioning Kyle Shanahan and the creativity of the offense. But when I watched, and I see right here, Alfonso, JT O'Sullivan's video, yes, I agree. And when you watch that video, you see it. Watching that JT O'Sullivan video changed my mind on blaming Kyle. The play calls are there. The execution is the issue. Kittle's blocking hurts, but he will be back, and so will we. Yes. So JT, awesome breakdown. He actually showed, no, the creativity is there with the offense. Execution might be slightly off, right? But again, like 2019, and really every other year, early on, the execution has been off with the 49ers. So when you say the difference is that there wasn't tape on Jimmy then, there is now, and the defenses have adjusted. I don't think that's the case. Again, Jimmy Garoppolo, 2019, he did not start off great. He didn't start off great. And that's why, and I know a lot of 49er fans, we defended Jimmy Garoppolo 2019, right? We defended him. But if y'all really remember 2019, after the season, why was there the Tom Brady talk? If you guys remember, I felt like every day I turned on the TV, it was somebody talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Is he better than Dak Prescott? Is Jimmy Garoppolo this? Is he that? They're questioning him. 49ers should trade Jimmy Garoppolo. He did not play to the level of, I think, what the 49er fan base think he was at that time. I know for me, I did not think Jimmy Garoppolo was great that year. I think, obviously, statistically, there was a high level of efficiency. I didn't think he was necessarily great, but my hope and what I was holding out on, and probably what the 49ers were as well, is that moving forward, Jimmy Garoppolo will improve in the offense and start to turn up a different level of efficiency. And early on, 2020, it was clear that that wasn't going to be the case when the 49ers lost to the Arizona Cardinals week 1 when everybody was healthy. But as far as Jimmy Garoppolo, I really believe that Jimmy Garoppolo, he is right now who he's always been. Always. Whether you go back to 2017, 18, 19, it doesn't matter what year. Everybody looks at 2017 at the end of the year, winning 5 straight games, and they're like, oh, that Jimmy Garoppolo, he was different. No, he wasn't. He started 5 games, threw 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He converted on third downs. He did that at a high rate 2019. He's always done that. But Jimmy Garoppolo really has always been who he is and what we see right now. The offense has been a little weird. I have faith. All right. This is me. This is the positive moment I'm looking for. I have faith that the 49ers offense will eventually get it together. Because I've seen it before. I've seen it every year where it just starts off really weird. And they get stronger, and they get stronger, and they get stronger. And so far, that's what we've seen with the 49ers offense. The issue right now is, in the process, they've lost 3 games straight. And 3 games that were extremely winnable. 3 games that, with maybe a turnover here and there, they would have been able to overcome that and the 49ers be 5-0. They haven't forced the turnovers. Defense has been great. I don't want to say great. Defense has been really good. Really good. I'm watching them, and I'm watching D'Amico Ryans again. This is the positive streaming show. I'm watching D'Amico Ryans, and every game, this is what I want to know is when D'Amico Ryans comes out, right? Because you have this certain game plan. You've been game planning for this team that you're playing against. How prepared is your defense to take on that challenge? And I feel like every week so far coming out, his defense has been extremely prepared to take on the challenges of whatever the opposing offense possesses. The defense has come out and they've played well for the most part, right? Like now, is Aaron Rodgers going to get hit sometimes to get streaky? Yeah. But even then, for most of that game, defense played well. They were put in some vulnerable situations. Some of them they overcame them, some of them they weren't able to. But the defense, it's positive, but they got to take the ball away. And I think that's the one thing that's missing. And I think that's the one thing where when you look at the 49ers and why are they 2-3 as opposed to 5-0, it's the takeaways. Now we got Rocky Mountain Razorback, and he says, are we still a playoff team? I think we are. I think we are. Now you got to get some things to go your way, but like anything in life, right? And y'all know this. Any of you guys that, and I'm pretty sure everybody that's in here is successful at one thing or another. And think of all the things that you're successful in and how at some point when you had to get back on track, it was just taking it one step at a time, right? And if you look at the 49ers right now, it's got to be one game at a time. It's got to be one game at a time. So you got to get this bye week. We'll take that as a game. You got to win the bye week, right? How do you win the bye week? Get your guys healthy and ready to go, whether it's Garoppolo, whether it's Trey Lance, whatever. You got to win the bye week, all right? Second, you got to beat the Colts. You got to go to the Colts. You got to beat them. One thing, like I said, if there's one thing I've noticed with the defense, they come in and they're prepared. And I think their strategy and however they felt they wanted to attack teams, they've done a terrific job at that. But now we got to get the offense to catch up. I thought the biggest difference between the Arizona Cardinal games and other games is, and it's really weird, but the offense of the 49ers, led by Trey Lance, consistently moved the ball. They didn't score the points. But 8 out of 10 possessions went into Arizona territory. What does that do for the defense? That helps, right? Because what was the issue with the 49ers previously? A lot of 3 and outs. 3 straight 3 and outs to start the Eagles game. Some more 3 and outs to kind of start the Packers game. That game was a little weird, right? Fell back 17-0 to start the game. Against the Cardinals, who had the most explosive offense in the NFL, 49ers were able to keep them off of the field and sustain drives. Shout out to Trey Lance. Now we just got to get points. Come on, Trey Lance. Right? So let's see. You will never run from rookie mistakes because Jimmy G is going to give you a couple of veteran mistakes per game. There is no excuse to not play Lance. So that was my argument. Before, the season started, right? Where a lot of people is like, well, rookie mistakes with, Trey Lance, rookie mistakes. And I have the question of, what is the difference between a rookie mistake with Trey Lance and a veteran mistake with Jimmy Garoppolo? What's the difference? If Trey Lance's first start would have been against the Detroit Lions, how good would the 49ers still have won that game? I think they could have. Now, if, let's say, Trey Lance started against the Philadelphia Eagles, 49ers had 3 straight 3 and outs, right? Still were able to kind of climb back. They only put together a couple good drives. One of the bigger issues was the pocket collapsing. Could Trey Lance have kind of helped that game? Being able to utilize his legs and get out there and keep drives going? I think so. Could Trey Lance have possibly lost the next 2 games? Sure. But I think playing those first 4 games would have had him more prepared to play Arizona Cardinals. And some of those rookie mistakes, maybe random misses, the timing of his throws that's off right now, he probably would have been better prepared, as well as having the entire, training camp and preseason to get first team reps. So I do think there's a scenario where we could, and I thought Trey Lance played well. And the PFF numbers kind of back that. Second highest PFF score for all rookie quarterbacks in their debut. And his 66.8, whatever it was higher than Jimmy Garoppolo's average for the season, which is 60. That's interesting. Crocker, I'd rather lose with a rookie making rookie mistakes than vet making rookie mistakes. At least with the rookie, he will be developing. I agree. Now, again, we're going to put a positive vibe on it. And I think the bigger issue is what Garoppolo was supposed to be in theory, and so far that hasn't been the case. if we're trying to put more of a positive spin on it, can Garoppolo get out of whatever funk that he's in right now? Right. So with Jimmy Garoppolo, it has been weird. The drives have been weird. I think one thing, and again, like for everything that Trey Lance wasn't in his first game, the 49ers moved the ball. They moved the ball. They moved it consistently. Maybe they could have kicked the field goal here and there. Uh, would have liked to see them, man, score on that goal line drive. I think if some of those things kind of go his way, a play here and there for the rookie, we're probably looking at that game a little different, right? They end up scoring 10 points. How many points did the 49ers leave on the field? Another 13? I think there's a scenario where they could win with Trey Lance, but right now it seems like Kyle Shanahan's trying to, create an offense where he feels like, maybe he won't be overwhelmed. That led to a lot of the run plays. I do think eventually the designed runs for Trey Lance will slow down just a little bit. There was about 10 of them. But Trey Lance is going to be, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the guy. For better or for worse. Now, how long will he last? Well, no, that's what we'll see. But I've seen Jimmy kind of in this space before where it starts to look a little weird, and I've seen him climb out of it. And I think right now, as long as he's healthy, I have faith that with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo will start to get back to more of what we think he is in theory, because he hasn't been that yet. But I feel like we'll start to see the efficiency of him turn up a little bit and start to lead to scores. Once the efficiency from Jimmy starts to, get better, I think the run game will start opening up. Obviously, the defense will look better, which the defense right now, number 7 defense in the NFL. But Jimmy in a funk because this rookie gonna pass him up and he knows it. That's tough. That is tough. Personnel usage has been suspect too. I think the personnel usage has looked different. And I think a lot of it ties to the probably more so the receiver group than anything else. We'll have to see what happens with that. But I got Rich McDonald.
I can't hear you, Croc.
Somehow I muted my mic. Good morning, man.
Good morning. How's it going, man?
Oh, so far so good. I wanted to try to bring more positive vibes. It always kind of starts to turn negative just a little bit, but yeah, I want to bring some more positive vibes, man. So if you have one positive thing to say about what's going on right now with the 49ers, give me something positive, a positive outlook. First, a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you a few different things, right? So the first positive thing, give me one positive thing about Kyle Shanahan.
One positive thing about college. Ooh, I wasn't ready for that one. I, I think he's a very good play caller. I think that, and I've been guilty of this. I think we look at the result of the play, and then we just automatically want to go to blaming Shanahan for the call. And I think what we noticed is that it's more about the execution of the plays as opposed to the call of the play. So I'm still positive about his play calling. We just need to execute those plays better.
All right, I like it. Now, give me one positive thing about Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think one thing we see about the difference between Jimmy and Lance, and it'll come with time with Lance, but I think Jimmy's better at recognizing things at the line of scrimmage a lot better. We saw that on the first play. I think I was watching some film breakdown, and one of the things that they mentioned was that the issue on that line wasn't with the center; it was actually with Lance. He should have once they get down in their stance, he should have recognized, Chandler off the edge, and made a change at the line to let them know to block down because he was free. And so
Right.
those are little, those are going to be rookie mistakes. We're going to see that. But, Jimmy Garoppolo probably would have recognized that and made that change, as a veteran. He obviously makes some mistakes, but I also think he makes a lot of I think he gets blamed for a lot of stuff. Uh, I just think he's limited, but I think he's good enough to win us some ball games.
Right. I like it. Okay. So I just want to come on and, get some positive vibes from you. But now you can get into whatever it is that you want to talk about. I know sometimes you come on here with your topics that you've been thinking about.
Yeah, well, I didn't have, I was because because we're at a bye week. I don't have a whole lot of topics, but I just wanted to get on with the good vibes. I think D'Amico Ryans is. I think people forget that D'Amico Ryans was a middle linebacker in the NFL, and he was basically a coach on the field. So I personally, I've always thought D'Amico Ryans was gonna step in and do really well right away. Um, I think it took some time to adjust, maybe a game or so, and I think that was a lot more to do with adjusting to the personnel as opposed to the defensive play calling. Because you got to get to know your strengths of your players, and I think he learned that right away. And obviously we saw that with the last 3 games because one of the things that Robert Saleh always had struggles with was mobile quarterbacks. And we see the last 3 games, the adjustments that D'Amico Ryans has made, and he's held all the mobile quarterbacks, pretty much at bay. So I've been really impressed with D'Amico Ryans and his play calling. The defense overall, I think we've held up really well, especially in the secondary. I think people were were freaking out about our secondary, but we've held up really well. Especially, I thought the Cardinals game really showed how well we were doing because they have 4 really good wide receivers, and for the most part, I mean, other than like a Rondale Moore, like
Screen or
fantastic
yeah.
catch. I mean,
Oh yeah,
man,
that too.
that dude's gonna be special. um, but I think looking forward to the looking forward ahead. Our division is still winnable. We played Arizona really good. I mean, we still got them at home. So if we can beat them, the Rams, we've. I mean, this year is this year, but we've always played well against the Rams. In fact, I think we've beaten them 4 or 5 straight, even with having some bad teams of our own. So we've got a bright future, man. I mean, I think the biggest thing they need to get the quarterback situation settled because I think what's going to happen is it's going to make it hard on the players because we talked about it before is that the players have to block differently for Trey. The personnel has to be different. That's why they brought up Mitchell instead of or not Mitchell. Uh, oh my goodness, the wide receiver that they brought up,
Benjamin.
Speedy Travis Benjamin. Yeah, Travis Benjamin. Sorry. So you can see they changed the personnel slightly for Lance as opposed to Jimmy because of Lance's strength. So you know they have to get that straightened out a little bit. But I think overall, I think we're headed in the right direction. You know, the reality is, man, it's football. Life goes
Yeah.
on, and look around, look at your, you know, there's different things besides football. If you're getting that worked up about it, turn off the TV and kiss your wife, kiss your kids. But yeah, I'm excited for what's going on with the team, and I look forward to coming out of the bye, seeing what they can do against the Colts. It's going to be a tough game. I think the Colts showed some resiliency against Baltimore, so I think we were probably looking at it as a cakewalk, but I think the Colts are going to be a tough game, and I think it's still going to. I personally think we're still going to beat them. It's at home, coming off a bye. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to get that win, but You know, look to the future with positivity, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But thanks, Croc. I really appreciate you giving us this platform, and I'm surprised a little bit more callers aren't coming on. But hopefully
I know,
people get
right?
some
Not as
courage.
much as usual.
I think sometimes it can be a little nerve wracking to come on and speak your piece, but just to those out there, man, get on. Croc's giving you this platform. Say what you got to say, and we look forward to continuing on being a successful team in the future. So,
Yes, sir. All right. It's always good hearing from you, Rich.
all right, thanks, Croc.
All right. All right. That was my guy, Rich. Love having him on, bring a different perspective. There was one thing right here. Okay. So, Kyle, we brought up Benjamin because we needed his speed. Did he call at least one deep shot for Benjamin? Uh, So on the first drive, that overthrow that it resulted in an interception, that actually there's an option on that. So he can run vertically if the defense allows him to do that. If they have guys over the top, then he sits it down in the open space, which is what he did. So uh I guess the answer is yes and no, at least on that one for sure, right? He went vertically and but he has to read the safety. So that could have been the 49ers trying to take a shot, but the defense kind of dictated that you throw it underneath. Croc is the best. Mom, I think you're supposed to say that. Oh, here we go. Why is the national media much harder on Lance's first start than other rookies? Is he the only one that they say needs to sit because he is not ready? Oh, he's the only one that they say needs to sit because he's not ready. That's interesting, right? And I think it's because, and I think a lot of people do this, but it's that because really, I mean, his first performance wasn't even bad. Like in my opinion, probably would have liked to see more points, but it wasn't even bad. But it's that confirmation biasness or whatever it's called, confirmation bias. I think that's what's going on there, right? So when he was coming out, there were a lot of people, oh, he needs to sit, he needs to develop, right? Like that was their whole thing, right? Oh, he needs to sit, he needs to develop. They push that. So when he comes in and you see areas where he needs to improve, which you have some reads or some throws or whatever the case it is, it's like, oh yeah, see, like that's why, like he needs to sit. But y'all not saying that when Trevor Lawrence throws for barely 100 yards, or Justin Fields has one net passing yard, or Mac Jones throws three picks, two pick sixes in the game, like you know through 5 games, Mac Jones 5 interceptions, 5 touchdowns. Like it's not like great, right? We're talking about an average of 1-on-1. Like I do think that they've been harder on Trey Lance for whatever reason, but I think a lot of it is just because that was their opinion of him before, and then he starts, and then it's like, oh well, yeah. See, they could point to certain things where it's like, see, he needs to improve here or there. But I agree. I mean, I think all the rookies have had very similar moments, all of them, and I actually don't think that his was any worse or better than anybody else's. Better than some of them. Like I didn't hear anybody when Zach Wilson was in the third quarter of a game and he had 4 interceptions and 4 total completions for the game. Nobody was like, nah, he's not ready. He's not ready to play. It's just like, oh, okay, he's going to work through it. He's a rookie. But you're right, man. I haven't seen people give Trey Lance that same benefit of doubt, and I'm not sure why. So you got Corey. Corey said, I wish I knew how to call in. All you got to do is click the link. I put the link right there, Corey, and just click the link. You might have to set up something with StreamYard. I'm not sure, but yeah, just click the link and you should be able to join right in. Peachy's right, man. Here we go. Got Peachy. Smash that like button. Only 7 likes. Yeah, we got over 120 people in here. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button right now. If you haven't already as well, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't already, download the Underdog Fantasy app. Make sure you guys use promo code Crocky. I'm gonna start having some like challenges and some different things that we can all kind of get together on and do. I'll start posting my picks of the week with my over unders and things like that due to underdog fantasy. So okay, so we got 50 likes. I see 51 likes. All right, here we go. All right, but let's keep it going. Croc, because Kyle's played them with the whole thing of him wanting Mac and taking Trey instead. That could be it. That could be it. Okay, I see Chris saying the same thing. All right. So we got Shu saying it, Mr. Lowe. Okay, we got Chris saying it. Yeah, the harder they are on trades because media is still. Yep, I think that could definitely be the case. Here we go. We got a new caller coming in. Here we go, and boom, here we go. Irvin, what's good, man?
What's good, Croc? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, Croc. How you doing? Love your show, man.
Oh, I'm doing good. I appreciate it, and I'll be doing even better if the San Francisco Giants beat the Dodgers tonight.
Oh man, you're telling me that's what I'm waiting for. I heard you say it was yesterday, but it's today. I was like, what?
Oh, you probably heard like what you talking about? I said it today. 'Cause I don't think I brought up the Giants today.
No, yesterday, yesterday.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
listen, Croc. Let me get to it, man. I don't know how you feel about Kyle, but he's frustrating me, man. He's frustrating me. Um, to me, it seems like he's a little overrated as a coach, not as a play caller. Um, he
Mm,
can't. He has a. I don't know what it is with him. He has this. I don't know if you heard him talk about Sudfeld when he talked about Sudfeld. I think it was last week. He talks about these second string quarterbacks, these third string quarterbacks that have no potential to be a starter in the NFL, like if they're gods. But when he talks about Trey, when he first talked about Trey, he wasn't like putting him on a stool like he did Sudfeld. I seen that and I was like, what? What's wrong with this guy? I don't know if he knows how to. I don't know if he knows how to. I don't think he knows how to groom a quarterback like Trey Lance or any quarterback. Because in Washington, he really didn't groom RG3 or Kirk Cousins. You know, he wasn't the head coach, and now that he has a chance, he missed on Mahomes, missed um on Watson, picked what's his name, Bethard.
yeah, third round.
Um, yeah. So I mean, he what's with him and not wanting to groom a quarterback, you know? To me it seems like he can't, or he doesn't have the patience, or I don't know. But the way he used Trey Lance yesterday, I started watching the game again. I had to turn it off, man, because he was getting that kid killed.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things with that. One, I think he was the offensive coordinator of Washington at that time, and obviously, when it comes to RG3, to see how RG3 kind of finished that season off, and Washington winning seven
Ran him
straight
to the
games
ground.
and going to the playoffs. But yeah, I think a big part of RG3 and what his issue was, and even what Trey Lance's issue could be, is you have to learn how to protect yourself. Nobody runs the ball more than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson does an amazing job of defending himself, knowing when to give up or quit on a play, when to go out of bounds and not take those tough shots. And that's one thing that Trey Lance, if he is going to be involved in the run game, which hopefully, that's they don't have to utilize him like that all the time. But if they do, learn how to protect yourself, right? Learn how to get down when to get down to stay out of harm's way. I think Lamar Jackson does an amazing job of that. Kyler Murray does an amazing job
But
of
don't
that.
they teach that to
Uh,
them, to the rookies?
it's hard to teach somebody something that's instinctive, right? So it's
Mm,
like at some point
mhm.
you just got to know when do I get down, or when do I have to take a shot. I think at the goal line, I might, unless I leap in the air, which still going to be some sort of a collision, I might have to just take a big hit, right?
That
But I don't think he has to take some of those other ones when his helmet got knocked off, and all, like there are other times where it's like no, just go down, go down. So that's something definitely he can improve on in the sense of Kyle and developing guys, or wanting to, or having the patience to. I don't think that he would have given up as much draft capital as he did to get Trey Lance if the goal wasn't to be patient with him and develop. Matter of fact, he might be being more patient than fans would like, and that's why we haven't seen Trey Lance just come be the guy out there. Maybe this is his way of feeling like he's developing him the right way that he feels
yeah.
need for Trey Lance and to get him make him be successful. And I think going back and looking at that game plan, which again, I was one where I'm like, I didn't care for it, right? Like it's like, okay, I see you got, you're doing what you got to do, but there is the case where he's like, you know what? This is what I feel like Trey Lance, if I'm trying to get through this game and I'm trying to win this game, this is the best way for me to be able to do it with Trey Lance. Not in the sense that that's what he wants, right? And I don't think, if we're looking at, Trey Lance starting the rest of this year, I bet towards the end of the year, probably see a different level of how,
Probably.
he's utilized. And next year, probably even see way less designed runs. So I think it's still early and it's hard to kind of gauge exactly how he'll use them off of one game. But I think moving forward, maybe
Well,
we'll see some of that kind of go away.
true, but the play calling in that game is just super questionable. I mean, he wasn't even doing his traditional play calling. He just went off the grid. It seemed like he didn't even want to try to protect Trey. I mean, that was not a good outing for a first game for Trey. To me, I mean, he should have done everything and anything to try to protect that kid. You know, instead of doing that goal line, that fourth and goal where
Mhm.
they say that he missed Mitchell, but I agreed with you. He had a guy in the back, so I mean, if he would have thrown it, who knows what would have happened? But I mean, the way he went in, that was scary. Like he had three guys like hit him at once, and I think Simmons, the linebacker, went out with a concussion. So that was a
Yeah, he
big hit.
took like the worst of it.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
I mean, I'm just worried about Kyle. I mean, to me, like he looks like he's going backwards. Like he's losing his touch. I mean, with the play calling, not just the last game, but the with the Packers and with Seattle. I mean, it's like it feels like they can't compete with the big teams anymore. I mean, they're like or
right.
like the big teams or the divisional teams and the big teams already know how Kyle is. So I mean, he either has to adapt or you know do some type of evolution with his play calling because to me, I think the teams already figured him out.
Right. We'll see. Real quick before I get to the next caller, tell me one positive thing. Like, what's one thing that you do like about Kyle Shanahan?
Right now, nothing. Right now, nothing. I'm telling you, I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
disappointed. Um, I really am. In 2017, Kyle was a to me he was like a genius. I mean, he was dialing up with Hoyer, dialing up with whoever was at quarterback, and in 2018, when Jimmy went down, he was still dialing it up. We didn't have a team. I mean, I feel like the team in 2017 and 2018 is more competitive. The offense, I mean, the defense right now is good. D'Amico's doing a good job. But the offense aspect, I mean, they were clicking more than they're clicking now, and right now they got twice as much weapons that they had then.
Right.
So it's like I don't know if he's mailing it in or he doesn't want to be with the Niners or he was forced to take Trey because I really think that if it was his choice, he would have picked Mac. You know, since he has a love affair with Kirk Cousins. So
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, Irvin. Thanks
not
for
a
the call
problem.
in.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Next caller on, my guy, Jesse. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. One positive thing about Kyle Shanahan.
What? Nah, I think here's the thing: is Kyle for whatever reason, Kyle's players like to play for him, and a lot of his past players have had career years underneath him, and that's something that you definitely can't take away. But I do have a question about Kyle, just to follow up on what the last caller was saying. Is so you as a former player, I get this feeling that Kyle likes to condemn publicly sometimes. And, even when he talked about Trey Lance, they asked him, how did Trey play today? He said, well, he played good, but he had some mistakes and he wasn't perfect and nobody is. And then he just kept going in about his pick and all the other things about him. And as a player, like, are you cool with that? Because I feel like in real life, usually if you have a team underneath you, you praise in public, and then in private is when you have those conversations. But it seems like a lot of coaches do this. But you saw Lynch come out and kind of do it on the radio show yesterday with Ayuk. You've seen Shanahan do this. Is that just commonplace in the NFL? Is that okay? Or as a player, would you prefer that they didn't do it that way?
Hold on, real quick before I get to answering the question. We got Ken Kim in here, and they said, Jesse, hope you get the channel back up, but you can let them know that your channel is back up, a new
Yeah,
one. So
a
they have
new
to
one. Yeah.
subscribe to the new channel.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So Last Second Sports, you can subscribe to it there. Same name, just a new channel. So we relaunched yesterday. So appreciate that, Croc.
Awesome. Yes, sir. All right. So me as a player, and I didn't get. I mean, obviously, I made it to the NFL, but I wasn't a guy that the coach was going to talk about publicly. So
Yeah,
I was
for
never
sure.
in that type of situation. And then, playing in the arena league, uh, they don't do they do the like the kind of the post game press conference, but it's not like on like a major network or anything like that. So nobody ever got. I was never in that position personally, but I will say this. I know me personally, I feel like there's better ways to kind of go about it. What you said was what I do. So when it's with my players, right? I always start off with the positive. And not even just like, oh, it did some good things, oh, rookie. It's just like, yeah, man, like, you know, give them positive vibes. And then I will talk about, well, you need to improve on this. If I were talking to the media, I definitely would be more encouraging about my guy, because eventually he's going to have to be the guy, right? And these guys read these things and stuff like that. Show that you have your guys back and that you do have this certain level of confidence in them and that they're heading in the right direction. I do think that Kyle can get better at that. He brought it up the other day where I wrote it down. Hold on, let me see it. I have it written down exactly what it is. What he called it. Hold on. He calls it something. And somebody, I think it was somebody that he coached with, actually gave him this name of what he does. And I don't think I could find it. But
Well,
anyways,
while you're looking for it, I wanted to say
go
something
ahead.
else, because I don't know if he can, Croc. Like, I know that he may try to improve on that, or he should, but I think it's just his personality. He talked in the offseason about how when he and his wife look at houses, how he picks apart the house, and his wife goes, "Oh, geez, you don't like this house? I really liked it." And he goes, "Oh, no, I love the house." And she goes, "Well, you just said everything bad about the house." And he goes, "Well, that's just how I look at things. I break it down. I figure out what's wrong with it and what I can live with." But he does the same thing with players. He does the same thing when it comes to taking responsibility in public. Grant asked him about the offensive inefficiencies, and he goes into this long thing about how it's situational football. I just think really good leaders would take that chance and own it and say, listen, at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into it. It's a loaded question, but it's on me. I'm going to make sure that I improve this during the bye week, and we'll come out firing. We'll be better. But I take responsibility. And it seems like he has an inability to actually do that and take responsibility, when as the leader, sometimes you've just got to do that, whether it's on you or not.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what most coaches do, right? And I think we kind of got spoiled with how Jim Harbaugh was. And Jim Harbaugh, he was a little weird and quirky to the media, but his players were the greatest ever to him.
Yep.
Right. And I think that level of, even with what he did before every game with Alex Smith and what he did before every game with Colin Kaepernick. If you guys remember that, patting the guy, hitting him on the head, patting their shoulders. And it's like, let's go. Like, it's go time, and just showing like, I'm in this with you. Like, let's go. I'm here with you. And when he was talking to the media about his guys, whether it was Alex Smith or Colin Kaepernick, they were the greatest quarterback in the world to him. Right? Like, during that time, like, you're the starting quarterback, like, you're the greatest in the world. And I think Kyle, I think that's part of it, right? When people say head coach, coordinator, it's almost like he's always in coordinator mode instead of head coach, manager mode, right? Because as a manager, you got to keep everything on, going, rocking, all the, pieces moving together, motivate people to get the best out of them, even if they're kind of down, giving them the confidence that they can go up. As a coordinator, it's just always about like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, we have to get this better, we got to do this better, we got to do that. I think he does have to improve on just understanding how to like even be a little bit more politically correct to the media and be who you are to your team and to your players.
Yeah. I love that he holds people accountable, right? But It's just the public setting is what I'm personally not a fan of. Again, the players may not care. This may be a moot point. To me, I feel like if I was a player, that would bug me a little bit, or it maybe not in the beginning, but eventually it'd wear thin on me. It comes off a little passive aggressive. But I did want to ask you this though. You were a defensive player. You were a defensive back. I have a theory that the 49ers defense this last weekend played a lot better because Lance was on offense. And let me explain that. So the ball moved when Lance played. There was only one drive where they did not get into Cardinal territory, and there was 1 3-and-out that they had. As a defensive player, is it demoralizing if your team comes up with a big stop and the offense goes 3-and-out and you've all of a sudden got to go right back on the field? Does it help you when the offense is moving the ball the way that the 49ers were, even though they weren't scoring? But does it help you get that rest and get that encouragement you need to go back out on the field and get a big stop when the offense is doing what they were doing on Sunday?
When you're actually in the moment, you don't think about it. It's just, change of possession. But like when you kind of over time, you do start to, wear down. It's like, damn, like, you can start feeling the amount of plays that you're playing, and you do end up being, a little less fresh. Now, again, at the end of the day, as a defensive player, you just got to do it, right? Like regardless of, whatever is going on with the offense, you have to go out there, you got to play, you got to execute. And again, in the moment, it's just, interception. Okay, we got to head back out there. But sometimes it can start to get to where it's just like, damn, 3-and-out again? God damn, man, come on. Then you go out there and just your whole vibe is down. And you know what I'm saying? So there's that aspect of it too. When your offense is doing their thing and they're clicking and they're moving the ball, even if it might not result in points, it's like, all right, let's go get another stop. And I will say that because, and I think the one thing that's missing with Trey Lance's performance is the points. But moving the rock for everything that he is or he isn't, he was doing that against a defense that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll throw one thing out at you before I get out of here. So a lot of people look at base stats like completion percentage, and they come up with the conclusion of how good a quarterback is or isn't. What they don't realize is that Trey Lance right now is asked, at least in that game or the 6 quarters he's played, he's asked to do a lot more than what even Jimmy is asked to do. 25% of his overall attempts, Croc, have been either 20 yards or further down the field or 10 yards and further down the field outside of the numbers. In contrast, only 6.7% of Jimmy's throws have been under that same category. And for Trey Lance, he's had like 20-something passes underneath 10 yards. He's completing 68%, and that's with 2 drops. So if he was given more of a Jimmy game plan, he would also have I'm going to call it an artificial completion percentage, because he can complete those, but he's given a completely different game plan. I don't know how many times, probably 5-6 times, I saw the 49ers go max protect, 2 receiver routes, and both those receivers are deep. You never saw that in the offense prior to Trey Lance getting in there. So it's just interesting to me that Trey Lance isn't ready. And this is even the team and the coach saying that that's why he isn't playing. Yet when he comes in, everything's on his shoulders. I feel like there's a contradictory statement in what they're saying versus what they're actually showing. And it's just an interesting contrast to me.
Yeah, no, I can see that as well. And, part of it too is I think just by nature, he has more of an aggressive mindset when it comes to throwing the ball down the field and kind of pushing it and whatnot. But I'm curious to see how he kind of develops. And maybe part of it is just, the downfield plays it gives him more time to kind of process things and see how it's happening, as opposed to the underneath stuff, even though he is completing a high percentage of the underneath stuff. But I like to see, does the ball start coming out of his hand quicker? They start getting more comfortable to where he is more efficient with the underneath stuff, and then build on the vertical stuff off of that. But man, I appreciate you coming on, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Croc. Have a good one, man. Keep killing it.
All right, Jesse. Here we go. Next person on. We got Corey. Corey was next up, right? Yeah, Corey, Notorious, and then Duckstar. Here we go. Corey, what's up? Oh, real quick. Let me get to this super chat, and I appreciate Armando. Has Kittle regressed since he got the big contract? That's a great question. I think his usage has been a little different. Not even his usage. It seemed like early on they were able to scheme him open in space. Uh-oh, we lost him. Let's get the next guy on. All right. It feels like early on we were able to scheme him up open in space at times and him have the big plays. What do you think about this question?
What do I think about it?
Yeah. Do you think Kittle, since he got the contract, which was last year, has he regressed?
I don't think Kittle's regressed. I think what happened is Shanahan's been using him in the run game more as opposed to sending him downfield for coverage. I think he's had to negate kind of the offensive line's ability by using Kittle in that role as opposed to targeting him downfield. He has something like a 50% open rate, right?
Yeah. I mean, he gets open. I think one thing that's kind of underrated about his game is his ability to, his route running and things like that, where a lot of people think that's like the big issue. And it's like, man, like his route run is terrific. I don't know why he's not. Why do you think he's not involved more in the red zone?
Why isn't he involved in the red zone? I think the issue, I think, is that I think that you need to use Trey Lance more in the red zone, but I also think that the issue is they use him more as a run blocker. Like I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
we have what? How are we even in the red zone that often without Trey Lance? I mean, we go like 5 and out. Like 5 and out in the Seahawk game. We go like the Packers.
So you want to see Trey Lance play?
I mean, I think he's better in the red zone. And at this point, what do we do? What's the point in going with Garoppolo if it's going to be kind of the same? Like, if we're getting the same thing almost. And, I mean, Garoppolo is a lame duck quarterback, right? Like, he knows he's going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
Like, what is he going to offer? I mean, we got to get Trey Lance ready. There's no sitting around and hoping. Like, let's say what's the best scenario, right? Let's break it down. What's the best scenario? Garoppolo takes us to the playoffs, right? And then we can trade him for what? A second round pick?
Probably. I think people right now would probably say, no way you get a second. But I'd say Garoppolo, if he gets hot and he takes 49ers to the playoffs, I think they can get a second for him, potentially.
Yeah, but then we're still stuck with Trey Lance next year, who has had no development. Right? Because we don't know. That's the problem I think the whole fan base has right now. This isn't even what I called it for. But like the whole problem is we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, right? We don't know Shanahan's, like, if somebody could just sit down and say, Shanahan, what was your plan? Right? What was the plan with Trey Lance? Just to sit him the whole year? Like, where's the development?
Yeah.
And he's not going to answer that, right? Like, he's not going to tell us, and we're not ever going to know what happened. Right? And it's the same thing with the Ayuk thing. Like, what? Like, we see Ayuk on the field make awesome plays, right? He takes like a 10-yard dump off and just like runs for like 20 yards. Right? And we all as the fans see that, but we're not seeing the all 22 that shows that he screwed up on the, lining up somewhere. Right? Or he's just not getting open. We don't see that.
Right.
So it's like one of those things where we don't know. We don't know what Shanahan's plan for was, Lance, and we want to know, right? That's why everybody's like, well, what is your plan to get this kid developed? Because he's 21 years old. Like,
yeah, that's the big question right now. But I know you said that's not what you came on to talk about. So what was on your mind?
All right, you are a former defensive player, and I don't know who to ask. I don't know what the film says. But what happened to Fred Warner?
Ooh,
he has a 60 PFF grade right now as opposed to an 88 last year. And is it just like watching the tape? Is it scheme that's screwing him? Like, is he just overloaded on the scheme? Is it the defense can't? What is going? Is he hurt? Did nobody tell us that he's hurt? Have you seen anything on the tape that says what's going on with Fred Warner? Why is he regressed or seemingly regressed? Is it just Greenlaw out there?
Man, that's a great question. I wasn't even paying attention to that. I've seen that be like a topic of discussion this week for the first time about his PFF grade and how there's potentially some kind of falling off. I think with PFF too, sometimes it's tough because, when you're generating takeaways and you're doing those type of things, sometimes, that can definitely like really boost your grade. So, early on last year, he had the pick 6 for a touchdown. That helps.
Yeah.
He's been a guy that has really punched the ball out, forced takeaways. We haven't seen that this year. So I don't know if that's something that maybe potentially keeping his grade down. I haven't noticed any like glaring missed tackles or any issues in coverage. he's been really quiet, but
which is
I haven't
weird, right?
noticed anything.
Normally
Yeah, I
he's
haven't noticed anything like bad.
Yeah, like I just don't know what's going on with him. It's like I haven't really noticed him since the Philadelphia game, right? Where he
Right.
had
And
that.
see, and that's the thing. I thought Philadelphia, he was lights out.
Well, in
But since
Philadelphia, yeah,
then,
he was amazing in Philadelphia, but I've like looked for him on the field and just haven't noticed him there, which is kind of he's like one of the pillars of the defense, him and Bosa.
and usually you can tell right away because of how much energy he plays with, right? The energy, I don't want to say taunting, but getting in guys' face. He does a lot of that.
Yeah.
And seeing a little bit less. So I see one person say that he's been playing flat. I'd be curious to see if he kind of gets it back. But I'm gonna get you off, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna get my next guy on, Corey.
Like, that's what I was saying. You are like a defense guy, so maybe you could look at some tape and see if I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'll look into it. I'll start to really pay attention too, so we can come on here and really have a good idea of what's going on with him.
All right, yeah, thanks, man.
All right, anytime. Here
Yeah.
we go. We got Corey on. Make sure if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button. All right, all that good stuff. Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. Promo code Crocky, CROCKY. All right, and they'll throw an additional $10 into your account. Corey, what's good, man? Thanks for being patient. I brought you on,
man.
but then they like, I brought you
Man,
on,
I've
but
been
then they
trying to
like
get
went
on all
away.
these podcasts since forever. I've been late. Like Grant Cohn, Jason Apani, all them. They've been hating. But
oh man, well, I got you, man.
Bay Area's on too. Okay, let's get it.
Where you from?
Oakland.
Okay, so how does that work? Because I'm
with the St. Francis too. I'm with the St. Francis too. I play football in Mountain View.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
See, so I'm from Stockton, and a lot of what I hear is like, if you're from Oakland, it's like you got to be a Raider fan.
Nah, that's just my dad's a Niner fan. My dad grew up in the 70s, and all his people was Raiders fans. When the Raiders was good, Niners didn't even win a ring yet, and I just followed my dad's footsteps. He was a Niner fan, and he was an anomaly.
Okay, yeah.
But when they moved, it was a lot of people younger than him that was hella Niner fans, like that grew up in the 90s when the Raiders was in LA, and we was raw in the 90s and the late 80s. So you got them too.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But
anyway, go ahead,
sir. But yeah, what's on your mind?
Nah, I've been hearing about the Shanahan. People just going at the Shanahan like he threw the kid right in there. Like, calm down. People gotta realize this is Shanahan's first game with the kid too. Like, he's just seeing what works and what doesn't work and what defenses are giving us, And we did move the ball. People were getting mad about that 4-for-1. Like, that was a good play. It's either Trey Lance, you go over the top or you throw it. You know what I mean? I don't know. He thought he was in high school or something, trying to go hit up, but. It was just a play. Like, it could have went either way. Yeah, we moved the ball very, very well. Like, I'm not blaming Shanahan for that. It's just, like he said, like in the press conference, he said it could go either way. But I'm behind Shanahan though. I think it's gonna come together. It's gonna come together.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've been in the chat.
Yeah.
A lot of people like they're really killing Shanahan, and I'm like, man, like I get it. I say this.
I understand because we're losing. I understand. We lost 3 in a row.
That's what it is. I think a lot of it is that. I think a lot of it is 49ers are in a weird space because of the dynamics between the quarterbacks, right? Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance. People are on both sides going to be upset with how he goes about bringing them along.
In the beginning, Jimmy fooled me. Like, going in after we lost the Super Bowl, I was still on the Jimmy team. But, like, come on, at this point, he's reaching his 30s. We've seen every quarterback in NFL history. By the time Jimmy's age, we didn't know if he's for real or not. Jimmy he can get us there, but he ain't, like, you know what I mean? We got a young, like, Deshaun Watson type, like we've seen these cats come in, Lamar Jackson type. We've seen them come in and do work. We got Shanahan too. And we got young talent. People gotta realize this is our first time our O-line used to Jimmy for 3 years now. They ain't never had a mobile quarterback. Everybody, the whole team has to get used to playing like this, It's gonna be a transition. But it's gonna get there.
Yeah, and it's tough because, and I see some people talking about in the chat, like, he's below 500 for his career, right? So he hasn't been winning. I think a lot of it can be, attributed to the quarterback position, and whether it was injuries or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
I think that's
the whole team
led to a lot of losses. Yeah, but
and what
it's tough though, because when it's clicking,
Man, you can't tell me it's not. And then dude was talking about Fred Warner. I see what he's talking about. Fred Warner, he's always around. You watch the game, he's always around the ball every play. He's always around the ball. If you want to nitpick, the one thing I say, even about a lot of people on our defense, they stop their feet when they hit when they tackle. They be stopping their feet like just like elementary stuff, but like hit and they just Warner does all the time. He hits and he stops his feet. I'm like, what are you stopping your feet for? He's
Gotta
always
run
there
them
to make a
feet.
play. He's always there to make a play every time. He's always in the right position. But even Jimmy Ward be stopping his feet. You're trying to just muscle him down. And some people get through that. So if you nitpicking, but our defense, man, they played amazing last Sunday. I give it to them. They played amazing.
And that's tough, right? When the
Yeah,
defense plays so well, but you still come up with a loss. You
man.
hold them to 17 points. And the 49ers
I've been
had
in a lot
several
of those
opportunities to
games.
be able to put up points.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
But dang, Corey, I appreciate you coming
I
on, man.
appreciate it.
Anytime I'm on
I'm gonna
here,
keep tapping in.
yeah,
I'm gonna keep
all
tapping
good.
in.
And then
Go ahead.
especially
Go
after
ahead.
games, I want to hear your perspective after games. So make sure you come
Oh
on.
yeah, for sure. I'm watching everything. Every YouTube channel, every YouTube about the Niners, I'm watching. I see everything. You feel me? All 22, everything. All right. Good tapping in.
All right, all good. Here we go. Here we go. Next caller. What's up,
Good
man? Thanks for
morning,
being patient.
49ers. What's up, Mr. Crocker?
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's technically this afternoon. I'm a Brit, I am, Mr. Crocker. I'm from Wales in the UK, so excuse my funny accent. Do you know where Wales is, bro?
Nuh-uh.
You don't, do you? Right then, it's west of England, right? It's in the UK, right? I'm a Brit, yeah? Right, so it's, if you look on the map, right, it's like a pig's head on the west side of England. That's Wales, mate. That's Wales. That's my country. Do we Cymru and Beth? We speak our own language. Yeah, so excuse my funny accent, but I just want to let you guys know, I love the 49ers. 49ers are the best NFL franchise out there. Nothing comes near them. The faithful are the best fan base in the world. They are right there. And I love the 49ers. So, I know you want to start on some positives, right, Eric? Yes, so
Yeah.
my positives are, right here, Mike McGlinchey, right, has improved 100% over the season that he had last season. He's improved his footwork. He's fighting back, right? And I know he didn't have a good game against the Cardinals, but if you compare McFloppy last season to McGlinchey, McWall 2021, he's a damn sight better. So do you think that's a positive or not?
Yeah, I think you're talking about Mike McGlinchey, right?
Yeah. Mike McWall.
Yeah, yeah. I think Mike, as long as I ain't gonna lie, man, you threw me off with the accent and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool, right? It does it with everyone. It does it with everyone. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, Mike McGlinchey. He gave up a couple sacks last game.
Yeah, he was
Or a
poor against
sack.
the
No,
Cardinals.
I don't even want to say he gave up a sack. A couple holding penalties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right. I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta get you off because I can't. My bad, man. I don't even want to be like that, but I couldn't. I couldn't focus. I couldn't. My bad, bro. I couldn't. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna try to hold on. Let me regroup. I know you meant good. I know you meant good. I know you meant good. Hold on. I'm gonna get you back on. Just hold on. I gotta regroup for a second. I'm gonna get okay. Here we go. I got you, bro. I got you. All right, here we go. I had to regroup so I could, really. All right, here we go. You there, right?
Eric,
All
I'm
right.
awful sorry about my accent. I am
Nah,
terribly
it's cool.
sorry.
It's cool. Low key, it just remind me of like the little leprechaun.
Yeah, well, that's where my name comes from, Nina McGregor. Everyone calls me Nina McGregor, yeah, because of the Irish thing and my accent. So, yeah, it sort of played on it with the notorious GAV, because my name's Gavin, yeah? Right, so just call me
Yeah.
Gav, yeah? Right, yeah. But, yeah, I'll try and slow myself down a bit, because when I get excited, I do talk a very, very fast, and I get that it's hard to understand me. Sometimes I do. I apologize, right there, for making you laugh.
Yeah, no, all good, all good. Okay, I'm regroup.
Yeah,
All right, we back. Okay, so Mike McGlinchey.
yeah.
I haven't, and I need to start really like watching the film, breaking it down, and really getting more of an evaluation of where these guys are. I have watched a lot of McGlinchey in the past, especially when I was doing the scouting academy. But I think the biggest thing with McGlinchey have been his anchor, right? Him trying to anchor down in the strength. Now they said the added weight this year was going to really help him improve on that. So I think we're still trying to wait to see, is this going to be something that's consistent? I think the holding penalties for the most part can kind of be, attributed to Trey Lance moving around, them not knowing exactly where he's at. I also heard somebody else say no, the holding penalties happened before uh, Trey Lance even started moving around. So I'd say McGlinchey, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed so far, he ain't on the ground nearly as much, but the right side of the line in general has been poor between him, Brunskill, and even Mack. So that's an area where I think as a whole, they got to figure it out and they got to start to improve there.
Why do you think we haven't seen Aaron Banks for? Because surely he cannot be as bad as Daniel Brunskill. Can't be possible. It's not humanly possible. He got to be better than Brunskill.
I guess right now he's not, but this is the thing when it comes to Banks. And myself and Brian Peacock, make sure you guys listen to Locked On 49ers. But me and Peacock, man, we talked about this. We didn't care for Banks and how he fit in the offense. They said that he was a guy that moved extremely well. That's what they told us. But that's not what we saw on film. Matter of fact, I saw like really the complete opposite. Now, right in front, if he just has a man-on-man block, terrific. Like his blocking from that standpoint was really good. You're not getting around him. It's like a big wall. But anytime he had to move laterally, even a little bit, he was in trouble. And I think that's where he's probably struggling right now, especially a guy being that guard. If you are facing anybody that has that initial quickness in the interior, he's probably struggling with that. And they probably are like, man, we can't put him in there. But now, how Brunskill just get bulldozed over, that ain't happening with Banks. So at some point, you're gonna have to see what you have in Banks, and you're gonna have to put him in there. And Brunskill or anybody else, they're just gonna have to understand. Hopefully, Banks gets it together because he could definitely be used right now at the right guard position. But I see somebody in here saying they wanted Asante Samuel, and a lot of people wanted Samuel. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to ask when do you think we will see Aaron Banks? When?
I'd say, man, hopefully. I mean, we talk a lot about Trey Lance, right? Seeing Trey Lance after the bye week, which we want, but maybe after the bye week, a guy like Banks. I think the tougher thing is he hasn't even been active, right? He's been somebody that's been a healthy scratch, so that's even more worrisome. And Moore, who was a later round draft pick, fifth round or sixth round draft pick, the tackle, he's been active, but with Banks, it's like he's just been a non-factor. So, like Trice said right here, knowing Kyle, you just never, or you never know.
Right. Okay. So let's get back to a positive end. Right. Deebo Samuel is having the season of his life. Right on the contract year. Come on now. Yeah. That is something definitely to get super hyped and super positive about. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that could be hyped about is it's not even contract year yet. The next season is his contract year. So obviously going into this season, they can start to look to extend him. But I think the positive thing here is you do see some guys excel and start to ball in their contract year. He hasn't even reached that yet, and he's having this level of success. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. So from the positives, I want to go to a slightly negative question. Right. Is Kyle Shanahan going to kill Trey Lance?
No. I think eventually, as Trey Lance progresses as more of a pure passer, I think you'll see him start to dial back on a lot of the runs and things like that. But again, and I know people are giving him a hard time on the runs and things like that. There were a few design runs from him. There were also a few more where he pulled, but there are also 7 scrambles that resulted in runs. Trey Lance is also going to have to learn how to protect himself. So that's I get it. We want to put it all on Kyle. And there were those design runs. Trey Lance has to learn when to give up, when to get down, so he's not taking those direct shots.
Yeah, I read somewhere, right, that on scripted quarterback runs, he was averaging 3.1 yards per carry. But on unscripted quarterback runs, he was averaging like 11 yards. Yeah, and the problem I see with Trey Lance is he runs with his head down. I know it's good and you want to see him run people over, but I want to see him be safe. He keeps his eyes down on the floor, he does, really, and just runs head down. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe he should run with his head up and definitely slide a lot more. He's got to start sliding, got to start protecting himself. He can't go out every week and play like he did last week, otherwise he's just going to get killed. Right, so my last question, right here, before I go on like a little sub topic, right here, like the fullback sneak, right? Yeah, do you know what play I'm talking about with Juice Check? Yeah, right. I want to call it the fullback sneak because he wasn't a quarterback, right here. So he's the fullback sneak, right here. The Cardinals knew that play was coming, right? They had it scouted, they had it sussed, and they loaded the box, and there was no way he was going to get it through with that play, right? Now, on the replays of what I've seen, it looks like Trey Lance is looking like he wants to receive the ball. Williams is going out to the left-hand side of the play, and there's acres of space to the left-hand side of the play. So was Juice Check supposed to hand that ball off to Trey? And do you think he went for it, and because he went for it, is a sign of a divided locker room? Because he took it on, he didn't trust the rookie. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah?
I don't even know if it was that he trusted rookie. He just went rogue. I don't know if he just had like a brain fart or brain dead, or maybe he didn't get one part of the play call, which I think I'd assume them using that, they said exactly what it is that they were going to do, but maybe he thought there was some type of look to where, he could get off the sneak, but definitely that was not the play call, and I think it was clear. Kyle alluded to it, but probably didn't want to talk too much about it just in case they want to use it later. But on film, you could clearly see exactly what it was. They were going to pitch it to Trey Lance. You see Trent Sherfield crash down. You see Trent Williams pull. That was supposed to be a toss to Trey Lance, get him out there on the edge.
Right then, so my last subject before I go, right? What's your predictions for the game tonight with the San Francisco Giants and the LA Dodgers? Right, that's not the LA Dodgers, that is LA Dodgers, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm hoping, the Dodgers, man, terrific team. Their pitching has been awesome. They used Bueller last night. Oh, Dodgers, my bad. Dodgers. They used Bueller last night. I mean, not last night, the night before. So hopefully with Webb on the mound, he can keep this hot streak going. And 49ers, they haven't been able to hit against the Dodgers. So Webb is going to have to be on his A game again and possibly pitch another shutout.
Yeah. Evan Longoria comes up and steps up big for you again because he's right. I've only started watching baseball this season, I have. So, and I don't really know much about the game, but I know, that Evan Longoria has had a good season for you. And he's been my favourite player watching the Giants this year. I know everyone's all about Buster Posey this, Buster Posey that, but I've really enjoyed watching Evan Longoria. And I hope he steps up tonight and it's an home run with the bases loaded and sends you guys through now to the next round. That's what I want to see happen.
Man, I hope so too, man. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, anytime, right? Eric, I'll call him more often, right? Yeah, just excuse the accent, bro, right? Yeah.
I'm good now. I just had to recruit.
I got to slow myself down sometimes as well. I have, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, right? Yeah. Oh, awesome, right? Yeah, thank you very much for putting me on the show. Right, you keep doing what you're doing because I told everybody that somebody should start a morning 49ers show, and you're making it happen, right? Yeah, and you're doing a great job. You just keep doing what you were doing, right? Yeah, keep up grinding, bro.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
Shout out, Mr. Crocker.
All right. Yeah, my bad, y'all. No disrespect. It caught me off guard, and then they've been talking about people coming in and doing weird stuff and getting people's stuff shut down. So I wasn't sure what was going on, but I appreciate the call. The notorious GAV. Matter of fact, he was the one that was warning me about people getting their stuff shut down. So here we go. We got a few, and I'm gonna get my guy Dion on. That'll be the last caller of the day. Love me some Debo, but the drops though. Here's my thing, and I say this with quarterbacks as well, right? Quarterbacks, if you're gonna miss a throw, all right, but you got to make some plays, right? So Trey Lance missed some throws, but he made some plays, right? Some plays that maybe other people probably wouldn't be able to make. It's the same with Debo Samuel, where if you're gonna drop some balls, you got to make some plays, and I think Debo does that as well. So the drops, that's something, he dropped certain passes his rookie year. We've kind of seen that from him, but I think he more than makes up for it with his big playability. Now, that screenplay is tough, because he dropped that, and that possibly the way it was kind of blocked up with the left touchdown. So you can't have that. But just in general, I think Debo does a really good job of, okay, he's going to have a drop here and there, but he's going to make up for it with some big, explosive plays, just like he did on the run play for a touchdown. Appreciate the contribution. Here we go. Do you think the Niners make a trade for Lyle Collins? He's been playing right tackle. And they got Banks at guard kind of in the waiting. They just drafted him second round. So I would say no. I would say no trade for Collins. But I know that other guy, what's his name, Steele. I think he's been doing very good. Appreciate the contribution. And let me some Debo. Oh, wait, I already read that one. There was another one. I'm missing one. Let me some Debo, Collins. Did you just give me 2 contributions? I appreciate it. But yeah, my bad, man. Yeah, Notorious GAV. I appreciate the phone call. Here's a good one right here. Terrell Owens dropped plenty of balls, but made great plays in his career. Right. It's like one year T.O. had like 14 drops or I don't know, something like that. But he also had like 16 touchdowns. It was like a 1,600-yard receiver. So it's like I could live with some drops if you're going to be that type of a playmaker. All right, here we go. Last caller. Get money. My guy Dion. Dion, real
What's
quick.
good, Croc?
Real quick. Give me one positive thing about Kyle Shanahan.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to make sure this joint is linked up. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of hard to look at positives right now when your record is 2-3.
I know. You got to find one though. You got to find one positive thing about Kyle Shanahan.
That he actually put Trey Lance in the game.
Well, he had no choice.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I can't because right now, bro, he looked predictable as hell. He looks stupid predictable, and it feels like the league has figured him out. Like you got to remember when you playing divisional opponents, you can't use the same stuff because they play you twice a year in and year out. So they know what you do. You know what they do. You know what I'm saying? Outside of a head coach switch or a coordinator switch, you're going to get some of the certain things that are just basic,
Right.
that are just normally the same stuff. So when it comes to Kyle, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's conflicted inside. He doesn't know whether he should start Trey, whether he should give up. I'm not sure, but right now, keeping it a buck, I can't find anything positive. Usually,
so
head coaches get like one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, give us one positive about Jimmy Garoppolo.
His win-loss total, even though that's a team effort. Like you got
One positive about his game. There's got to be one positive about Jimmy Garoppolo's game.
He's got a quick release.
All right.
I mean, I'll say this. The positive for me with the 49ers right now is the way our defense is balling out. That's what it is.
There we go.
And, I'm saying D'Amico Ryans is a positive right now because he's the one leading them. I don't know really so much that Fred Warner has regressed. I kind of feel like people are being a little hard on him and saying he isn't there. And, usually he's around the ball and stuff like that. But I think Fred's doing fine this year. I don't think he's having any issues or any problems or anything like that. With Kyle, I really need him to figure out what he wants to do. Go with the quarterback, stick with that quarterback, and just not, and don't bounce back and forth. Honestly, if we lose this game against the Colts, you definitely just got to go to Lance. Like, say he says, all right, Lance isn't healthy. His knee sprain, which I think is complete BS. His knee strain, his knee sprain, should I say, is bad enough and he can't play. So we have to go with Jimmy. So you put Jimmy back in there. He sticks up the joint. Defense plays hard again. Balls out. You're going to have a divided locker room if you don't already have one.
Because I can tell you right now, once I've said it before, I'll say it again. If I am a defensive player, I don't want to talk to nobody on offense. I don't want to, and the people that I'm gonna talk to on offense is Trey Lance, if I do, Trent Williams, Lake and Tomlinson. I don't want to
Have
talk to
you
Alex Mack. I don't want to
have
talk to Daniel Brunskill, and I don't want to talk to McGlinchey because they were hella suspect last game.
have you listened to like Dante Whitner or Joe
Oh yeah.
Staley?
Hmm.
What
Hey,
let
Joe
everybody
Staley, did you hear what Joe Staley said about the batted passes?
know? No, I don't think I heard that part.
Okay, I'll tell you real quick. He
I
was
did
saying
hear
when
what.
go
Oh,
ahead, go
go
ahead.
ahead. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
He was saying when defenders get their hands up in the air like that to bat the pass, punch him in the stomach. He
Yeah.
literally said that on national TV. He said he was taught that by one of his O line coaches. And it's not that you're actually really punching them, it's just that initial hit to the stomach.
Yeah.
It makes you bring your arms down because you want to protect yourself. So he's like, he
Uh.
said that on national TV. I was like, dang, I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I no, I've heard that before. Not from him, but I have heard like to do that. Steve Young, because a lot of people are like, oh, the wind up, right? Like his throwing motion. That's why the
Mm-hmm.
passes are
Mm-hmm.
getting batted down. One, I actually DM'd JT O'Sullivan and I asked him, hey, everybody's saying that his throwing motion is too long. What do you think about that? JT O'Sullivan responded, said no issue with Trey Lance's throwing motion. So I don't know. That's
Yeah,
JT.
I
I'll take
think
it for what it is. He said no issues. But also, Steve Young, they asked him what is leading to some of these passes getting batted down the line of scrimmage. And Steve Young said it's his eyes. It's not anything about the motion or anything like that. He was like, it's his eyes. When he's staring something down, everybody's looking at you, right? So the defensive guys are looking at you. So as they start their pass rush moves, if they look and they see you about to throw the ball and you're staring down where you're about to throw it, they stop and they're just going to jump up in the air. And that's what's getting
yeah.
the balls batted down. So again, now those are things too. And they ask him, well, how do you improve? Well, he's going to improve it as time goes on. He's going to know a little bit more how to manipulate defenses or how not to stare it down right away or get the ball out quicker before they can react to what he's staring to. So those are things that I think we'd all say would probably get better as time goes on.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Because you can't knock the kid and tell him he's bad for what I'm saying, just his first game. You can't expect perfection. It doesn't happen. It looks like he says, "Do you think Ayuk has regressed, or do you think it's a byproduct of not getting targets?" I honestly don't think he has really regressed. I just think they're not throwing the ball his way. You know what I'm saying? And whether he's in Kyle Shanahan's supposed doghouse or whatever this is, I honestly think they just need to get him more targets. And to be honest with you, if it was me when I went into that game with Trey, my plan would have been for him to throw the ball no more than 15 to 20 times at a max, and I'd have ran that ball down their throats. Like I would Elijah Matt. I'd have told before the game. I'd have told Mitchell and Sermon, "You're gonna have a heavy workload today, baby. We're gonna try to make this easy on the kid, and do what you do for Garoppolo. Usually, when Garoppolo gets into a funk, what do you see Kyle do? Give him simple throws, easy stuff to get him into a rhythm, and then he opens up more. I give you something in the
Right.
flat. I give you something over the middle. I give you, even a couple run plays just to see that the offense is progressing forward, so you can start to feel more confident about yourself. Do the same thing for Trey. Give him certain plays that he knows, and I said this before. Um, you know, at any moment, if he has to go into the game, there should be at least 10 to 15 plays that are specifically for him that you can run. And you do work those plays out with the first team and the guys that he's going to be throwing to and say, hey, continue to just run these plays. Once you have these mastered, you're ready. And I can put you in at any given moment and I'll call that set of plays for you because your skill set is different than that of our technical starter, and that would
Right.
make more sense. It's just I feel like the preparedness for Lance wasn't there, and it's a little frustrating. But at the same time, it is what it is. We'll see who's the starter because I guarantee you, when he comes out for his press conferences, Kyle gonna do the same thing he do. You know, if Jimmy is healthy, he's our starter. There is no quarterback. Like he gonna go through the same motions. But Kyle, the thing for Kyle is give me some positives by putting some W's on the board. The regular average head coach does not get more than 2 years, and Kyle's had almost 5. He's in his 5th year right now, and you have a negative record. And no people out there, there isn't. Kyle's system is built for running backs to succeed, not quarterbacks. Any running back can succeed in the system, as you've seen over the years, because we've had a bunch of undrafted guys or guys drafted late in the rounds. Look at Raheem Mostert; he was pretty much forgotten. He had been on 8 teams before he got to us. So those are the things that he needs to do. He's got to make sure that he does whatever he can do to get Lance prepared properly and make sure that he starts to build a rapport with the receivers. But if you're gonna go with Jimmy, man, and we keep losing, you look bad because you're trying to put your draft stock up and you're not winning games. The defense can't keep balling out, giving you everything they got, and your offense is just stinking up the joint. And the um, other thing is that dude that said he was on from Wales. I've never heard anyone talk like that from Wales, bro. I've talked to people from
Somebody said
Wales.
he's legitimately from there. Somebody said that he's really from there.
Really?
Hmm.
I've never heard nobody talk like that, man. And I've like talked to people overseas before, you know what I'm saying? In different ways. So I don't know. That was just crazy that he was like he sounded at first I thought he was joking. I thought he was gonna do that for a minute to throw you off, and then you was gonna be like, oh, okay. I got it, I got it. But I have heard that term he used, uh Dorsa. It's
Yeah.
it's a derogatory term, you know what I'm saying? Because Tyson Fury was calling uh Deontay Wilder that. He was like, he's the big
Uh,
Dorsa. So it's just people with, it's accents. But yeah,
hey, real
man,
quick,
that's just my
I
thoughts. I don't know.
I'm gonna get the next person on, but I want you
Appreciate
to
you, brother.
tell
Have a
us.
good
I'm
day.
gonna hold
It's
on, hold
blessings
on,
to you, man.
hold on, hold on. I want you to tell us one positive thing about you.
Say what?
I want you to tell us one positive thing about you.
About who?
You,
Me?
yeah,
Uh, One positive thing about myself. I'm blessed to be
yeah.
alive, brother. I'm blessed to
All
be
right.
alive. I woke up on the other side of the grass, so I usually stop complaining after that. No matter what goes on in the day, you take it one step, one step at a time, man. Baby steps. I'm blessed to be alive. I have a beautiful family, beautiful wife. I can't ask for much more, man. Positivity is all you preach, and you try your best to continue to keep your head above water. And at the end of the day, when you feel like things are going down and things are going to just fall all apart, that's when the good Lord come and pick you up. For the people that do believe, for the people that don't believe, I understand everybody has their own things. What I'm saying, I was raised in a church, and I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that the good Lord, keeps an eye on me, man. And anytime I can open my eyes and see that I'm here with my family and my loved ones, that's the biggest blessing that I got. The other blessing that I have is to be able to listen to, this stuff and get the perspective of other people. Being an open person, you know what I'm saying? And I thank you, Croc, for doing this morning show. And it's a blessing to know you through this way, brother. And like I said, if we ever meet in person, don't worry about it, bro. Drake's on me.
All right. Appreciate you, Dion.
All right, brother.
All right. Real quick, I got one more caller coming on. Uh, yeah, he was out there. He was out there preaching. Look, what a great show, son. Thanks, mama. um, I had asked him. I said, "Did you hear what it was Whitner and Joe Staley, what they said about the whole QB thing and who they would start?" And it's wild because both of them said that they would go with the rookie, Trey Lance. Both of them. Joe Staley said, I would go with the rookie. And that's a guy who played with Jimmy Garoppolo. And Whitner, he said he would go with the rookie. I don't know. Here we go. Last caller. Last caller for real this time. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button. Got 105 people in here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. All right. Listen to Locked On 49ers. 1K Jose. What's up, man?
Yo, what up, Croc?
Oh, man, I'm chilling. What's good with you?
Good, man. Hey, I just want to say right now, thank you for this awesome show, man. You're blessing us with this morning show. Some of us wake up early. We got to drive to work, start our day early, and it gives us something to listen to. Some of us get tired listening to the same music and radio every day. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, bro.
Yeah, and also thank you for sharing your story, man. I know I'm sure a lot of someone out there needed to hear that. I know I wish I heard that when I was 18. I'm 23 now, and I tore my ACL when I was 18, my senior year of high school, and kind of lost all motivation to keep playing. And similar to you, I was bad in grades and stuff, and I didn't really see a future for myself in that. And I wish I heard your story back then, because I definitely would have kept pushing. And I still regret it to this day. But hey, man, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even say like, to regret it. I would just say, we all go through these different things, and it's I don't look at like anything I've done as like a loss. It's just all lessons, and it's all a part of our journey, our process, and making us who we are today. So, you went through certain things, and I think you can look back on it like, dang, I wish I would have did something different. But now you have the rest of your life to make different and better decisions. You know what I'm saying? With whatever it is,
Yeah,
academically or other.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, things happen. Life goes on. It happens. And that's the way it is. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say real quick one good thing about Shanahan. I still feel like he's a very smart, like, a coach, I guess. But sometimes I feel like that can come
Wait, what
back
do
to
you mean
bite
you
him in the ass.
guess?
Because the question's up in the air whether he's really a coach or not, or he's a coordinator or not. But I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he's our head coach. So coach is coach. But sometimes I feel like the thing that gets him, like all this like controversy and he gets himself into all this mess is he kind of can be a little bit of a smartass, and that kind of can come back and bite you in the in the ass a little bit. And
Yeah.
he puts himself in a hot seat. I feel like and I feel like a lot of the decisions that he's making, personnel wise and all this and that, it's a lot of conservativeness. He's not trying to lose his job. He needs to make the playoffs, whatever. I know he has a big contract, but it is the NFL. Business is a business. Things happen, and you never know. So I feel like a lot of his decisions are just, kind of he's feeling pressure, maybe from the fans, for office. We don't know, but at the end of the day, he's still, he is what he is. Shanahan, he's proven, and sometimes, like he's in certain games, like the Super Bowl, when the record was on the line against the Ravens, we were undefeated. You know, he can answer the bell sometimes. That, like I said, testament to being under pressure, and sometimes people fold. But with time, he might be able to, overcome those things. He might learn from those things. Unfortunately, the cards that he's been dealt with, injuries and all this and that, you know, it's unfortunate. It's been 5 years now. And I think that's another reason why everyone's like, we're expecting results. We should have had the ring. And I feel like, at the end of the day, he's a good, run, like the coordinator of the run game. If you think about it, when Trey Lance gets good, we could have him be like a change of pace back almost. I mean, if he dices up the defense for the first half, 3 quarters of the game, when it comes down to it, they always said we needed to change of pace back to win the Super Bowl or to win those games and close those games out. I mean, look at him. He feels like he's like Cam Newton sometimes out there.
Yeah, but you
Imagine
don't
that.
want to use him like that. I think eventually what you want to get to is maybe 2 or 3 design run calls a game,
Right.
right? Whether it's, maybe some read option type stuff,
Yeah.
a QB power here and there. But I think you would like to for him to get most of his rushing yards and the way he impacts the game on the ground from
Yeah.
passing plays where he ends up scrambling and getting out of situations like he did on the first play of last game. So
Right.
I think ideally, as far as him running the ball, you definitely want to limit. You don't want to
Yeah.
use him as like a pure like change of pace type back from what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, but I'm saying, like we could use him in that scenario, like not necessarily like he's in the take 5 carries at the end of the game, and wins the game, but he does need Sermon and Mitchell and all these guys around him. We do need Ayuk on the field more, but like I said, Shanahan, he might have seen these guys make a mistake, line up on the wrong side. We seen Mitchell, you know, go get a handoff on Lance goes faces to the left and Mitchell goes to the right, and it's all that sloppiness. He's like, you know what? He'd rather throw the vet in there who he knows, he might not be as fast anymore or, whatever, he's washed, but he's going to do the right thing, and he's going
Right,
to not make him look bad, and
right.
he's not realizing that. I mean, he might be making his own team look bad at the end of the day, and that's that, he's got to set himself apart from that at some point.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree, man. Jose, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm gonna get mad on real quick.
Yeah, man. Right on. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate the call in. Here we go, Matt. What's good, man?
Oh, shit, what up, man? What's going on with y'all?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh man, we chilling, man. Yeah, one positive thing about Kyle Shanahan. You gotta give me one positive thing about Kyle.
He like Wayne. He listen to rap and everything, I guess.
That's the one positive thing. They listen to Lil Wayne.
Hello,
Yeah, can you hear me?
hello. Yeah, you heard me. I said he like Lil Wayne. He listen to rap music.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, one positive thing about him coaching.
I mean, he good at you know calling, getting people open and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I guess like the tight ends and scheming them open and everything. He's I think he going through a little rut right now. Probably. I don't know exactly what it is, man. I can't really put my finger on it. You could probably tell me a little bit more because you actually played, but it seemed like he kind of cold right now. He's usually, good at getting guys open. I don't know, what's going on with, Brandon Ayuk and everything, but I mean, like I said, he's good at, getting people open, and I think like you were saying, like his execution, things like that. We got a real young team, so I'm kind of looking forward to see what he's gonna do when it's post game.
Yeah, you know, I think the tough thing is for him, coaches sometimes go through this where they have like some ups and downs in the season or even for a year. The issue with him is he hasn't really built up the equity, to or confidence in people that he can like get out of it, or that it's just a one off because every other year has, outside of the Super Bowl run has been bad. So I think that's more the issue there where like in Andy Reid, he started off 2-3 and nobody bats an eye at it because what is Andy Reid? He's went to two straight Super Bowls, three straight AFC championships games. He's had so much success, and people forget Andy Reid had a season with Philadelphia where he only won 4 games, right? But
Oh yeah,
he's built up
yeah.
so much equity that people don't, they won't look at it. Uh, they won't look at it that way, like, oh, it's just terrible coach. Where with Kyle Shanahan is questionable because, well, there's been kind of, 3 other seasons of things kind of looking like what it looks like right now, and I think that's the bigger issue.
But I mean, like, I don't think he's a horrible coach, bro. Like, he's still young, so of course he's still learning,
Right.
bro. Like, and I think I
Yeah.
was on here before, like I was saying, like I got faith in him and everything. It's just like I'm saying, he probably going through some things and he don't know how to handle it. So he's giving us mixed messages and everything, which I don't like. I like a more of a straightforward type person. It seems like he is straightforward with the players, but not with. But you know what I'm saying. It seemed like he should be opposite of that. You see what I'm saying? Like how
Yep.
your attitude towards it seemed like he should have that, like things like
Yep.
that. Okay, like you should not coddle him per se, but like with Brandon, they're the best guys. He's one of the best receivers. You gotta let him go out there and play. So, um, like I said, he's young, he's still learning. So, like we criticizing him, but at the same time, I think he will learn from these criticisms. Just he gotta go through some things, you know.
Yeah, and that's just like all of us, right? Like I'm pretty sure you've had to, go through things and different, trials and tribulations. And same with Kyle Shanahan right now, he's gonna have to look at himself in the mirror and figure it out and where he can improve and, even improve as a coach. And hopefully, the results start to get a little bit better than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, right,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for the call in.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on, man. You already know
Oh
I'm
yeah,
always on here. I'll come through tomorrow too, man. You already know what it is, man. Hope we win
all
tonight too
good.
with Giants, man. Giants, man. Go Giants, man.
Oh yeah, you already know. I'll be tuning in.
Hell yeah, for sure, man. All right, man.
All right, here we go. Appreciate the call in. Uh, Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button. All right, this is the last chance you got. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. See some really weird things being said in the chat right now. Colin Kaepernick was trash. Colin Kaepernick, what is it? I saw somebody say Colin Kaepernick didn't want to develop this. Kaepernick didn't want to develop. I don't think that could be further from the truth. Couldn't be further from the truth with Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, some weird things going on right there being talked about with Colin Kaepernick, a guy who did an amazing job of coming on the scene, working really hard, playing some really good football. Things, started to get a little weird with the coaching situation, the team around him. I think we give everybody else the benefit of the doubt with, roster construction and don't look at a guy like Colin Kaepernick who was going out there with somebody named Chris Harper and Quentin Patton as his best receivers and Sean Drawn or whatever as his running back, trying to figure out ways to get wins. So the team sucked. Yeah, I remember 2014, the team went 8-8. 2015, his head coach was Jim Tomsula. Who was the offensive coordinator? Jeep Christ? Who was and then 2016, he had Chip Kelly, and the roster was terrible. Chip Kelly was terrible. He started half the season in 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Didn't necessarily result in wins, but terrible roster, terrible coaching. It's kind of, I get it though, beat up on Kaepernick. Here we go. Roscoe's, what's good, bro?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. You preaching, you let them know. You let them know, them cap haters. They don't.
We can say because even in the moment, I remember, things just start looking weird, and you're trying to figure it out, and the 49ers were in this weird space, and it was just like, damn, like we got to figure it out. I see the comment right here. Croc Mayoko is on record as saying Harbaugh said Cap didn't progress. He peaked in 2013. There's a difference between working really hard to improve and progressing, right? With some of the things that Colin Kaepernick did and did well, big time throws, big time plays with his legs. Sometimes putting the team on his back, making plays, going blow for blow with Aaron Rodgers, being able to outduel him in multiple playoff games. Like, I get it. Okay, he peaked. His peak was pretty good. It's hard to say what is and what isn't when the way things ended and how they fell apart. You would have to. Every coach is going on record saying he had to simplify the playbook. You got to show me. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's right. But can you DM me those or show me those articles of a direct quote from the coach? I want to see a direct quote. Excuse me. I want to see a direct quote from the coach. I would love to see that. And I'm not even like this big. I'm not even the guy that's gonna be like, oh, Kaepernick was this, that, and the other. But it's like I think sometimes some of the narratives that's put on him is a little ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in 2014, I thought Cap, was average. I thought 2015 he didn't play well at all. 2016, Kaepernick improved, and I thought 2016 Kaepernick was actually better than 2012 Kaepernick. If you look at it, guy was going through all his progressions. He was making better throws. He was more accurate. And the unfortunate thing was his team around him was the worst team in football. They had the worst defense. They had the worst offense. They had the worst offensive line. They had the worst receiving core, and that was by PFF. 11% of his passes were dropped. So you tell me who will succeed in that situation. But he ended up throwing 16 touchdowns, 4 picks, put the team in position to win against the Cardinals coming back. Against Miami, he came back. He had almost 400 yards of offense. Against the Saints, he had 400 yards of offense. You tell me, Jalen Ramsey. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, refute those facts, people. The haters.
Think we lost him.
I'm back. You hear me?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's calling me. But yeah, I mean, those cap haters, they won't be able to refute what I just said right there. But anyways, I'll tell you one thing I like about Shanahan. I like Shanahan, when he gets into a rhythm, he's literally unstoppable. When Kyle Shanahan play calling gets into a rhythm with his play calling, the Niners are liable to score 30, 40 points in bunches. And we've seen that against the Browns. We've seen that against the Panthers. We've seen that against the Packers twice. When Kyle gets rolling, it's a wrap. So I do like that about Kyle Shanahan. I wanted to ask you this, and then I'm going to get off. I mean, it's early, though. It's really early. So don't go on me, Crop. But I wanted to know, my thing is this. I felt like, maybe it's not a question, but you can just, expound on this. I thought he would have learned from Washington and how, he used his quarterback. I thought he would have learned. But it looks like we talked about, and I think Greg even touched on this, that offense looks the same that he had in Washington. All right, Croc, I'm off.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. Here we go, Brand. I'm curious to see how everything kind of plays out, for the rest of the season. A lot of people kind of down on Kyle Shanahan. See, he's thriving off his name. I don't think that's the case. I'd say your name could take you only so far, right? I don't think your name is what got Matt Ryan to win an MVP and go to a Super Bowl and have the best year of his career. I don't think your name, got the 49ers to the Super Bowl. I think maybe with how people view him in the sense of how great he is could possibly be some of the name. But I think Kyle Shanahan has built his own kind of quote unquote legacy for himself. I don't think that's his dad. Maybe getting into the league. Yeah. I think getting into the league, you could say he probably got opportunities that other people wouldn't have gotten because of who his dad was. And that helped him kind of get on with Gruden and Tampa Bay. But he went through all the steps, worked his way up. Obviously was a coordinator for his father, was a coordinator for several other teams and teams that, look at Matt Schaub and that offense. Look at what Kyle Shanahan did for Matt Schaub as the coordinator. So, he had Matt Schaub looking like what? He was a Pro Bowl quarterback. Andre Johnson had the best 2 years of his career. I don't think there's a coincidence there. So, Shanahan, because of his name, probably got the initial opportunity, but Shanahan, because of his ability, got him everything that came from that. That's going to do it for today's episode, man. I appreciate everybody that's on. Again, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure if you haven't already, listen to Locked On 49ers. Listen to Locked On NFL Draft. All that good stuff. Won't be here tomorrow. Won't be here on Monday. We'll be back with you guys Tuesday morning. I'm going to California and I'll be traveling. So I appreciate everybody that came in, everybody that contributed to the conversations. I'm open to all conversations. My mom was in here the whole time. Salute to my mama. All right. Appreciate everybody. All right, man. We out.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace.